Hey NHL gamers, and welcome to this NHL 22 interview. With us today, producer Clement Kwong, directly from Vancouver. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Clem.
No, thank you. Always enjoy having you guys, meeting with you guys.
Yeah, this has been a strange couple of years, and we haven't been able to see each other. But could you tell us a little bit about how is it working on a game during COVID? What kind of changes has it caused in your structure in Vancouver?
Yeah, I mean, like I was mentioning before you hit record. Being work from home has its own unique challenges. You guys know, just everybody has their own home life, work life. It's hard to separate and all that. But in terms of the project, we've actually gone. Obviously there's a lot more to learn, but we've gotten quite good at just the tools, the process, the communication, everything from how do we review art to build reviews. It's I don't want to jinx myself since we're close to shutting down here, but we've gone to a good groove, I would say. And everything that we wanted to achieve, both from a product and creative standpoint, we've hit the target. We've hit the target for the product. So I'm really proud of the team and how they've started to pull that together.
That's great to hear. Uh, so let's start off easy. NHL 22. What are you most excited about this year?
Yeah, obviously you guys heard during the presentation Friday now, a few days ago. There's the new X Factor feature set. Obviously, unlocks that gameplay meta layer across all modes. We're elevating superstars and hopefully introducing a new strategy to gameplay. So can't wait for you guys to hear more about that, especially where we have a new progression mechanic and unlocks through hot, and also how does that impact our World of Shell and eShell community through custom builds. So that's the first thing. Obviously, 22, we talked about the big year of both going to Frostbite and the new hardware, next gen hardware consoles. So the visual lift is going to be, hopefully when you guys see it, is going to be a massive bump across the game as well. And then last but not least, like I was referencing earlier, our World of Shell and eShell community are very important to us. So wanted to make sure that we at least ticked a couple of boxes in terms of the core requests for the UX, the UX social hub, as well as the custom builds I referenced earlier. So those are kind of the three major beats that we're counting on this year to kind of really pull through and shine for us.
I think you jumped in on this topic a little bit just when you were answering that. But this year you didn't only tackle issues with the pandemic, but also with the coming of the next gen of consoles. So what were some of the obstacles that the dev team tackled regarding that, and how did you tackle them?
Yeah, great question. So I mean, going to Frostbite switching engines, I should say, to Frostbite is one big challenge in and of itself. That took it wasn't a single year project. It was obviously a big lead up of effort from the team. We've actually started, without getting all the details, we started the Frostbite initiative very much earlier than we did 22. So we had parts in the team working on it as we were developing the game last year for NHL 21, and then to bring that all together, get the team ready to start working on the new engine. Then we focused our efforts on switching our target to the new next gen hardware. And to be honest, it's been quite obviously there's a lot of work involved. I don't want to underscore the importance of that, but I think given the lessons that we've learned from the FIFAs and Maddens launching on Frostbite a few years ago, as well as the next gen console hardware, has really benefited NHL. So when we talk about fast following, learning from the bigger titles, that's something we've definitely been able to leverage this time around.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I can say a lot of our community has been looking forward to. Um, a little bit about that. What are some of the major things that you feel like Frostbite can bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the as part of the big, visual overhaul or upgrade I was saying on Friday, lighting is a big thing for us. All our arenas, all our stadium have been, rebuilt in some sort of way, and at a minimum, totally relit, to make sure it reflects the authentic, as much as possible, authentic atmosphere of the real arena. We looked at characters, very closely in terms of just player likeness, the skin textures, the eye shading, bring those characters to life, all the way to now the details that you can see, in replay now when you score, great goal or goal replay highlight. You're seeing those details come through, and last but not least, like I was saying, the ice. Hopefully, you guys will find amazing. That's something that when I booted up the first time, has really stood out to me and continues to stand out. In terms of the future, how that sets us up, like I said, it's really limitless where we go from here. Right now that we have such a strong foundation, we want to continue investing in environments. What you probably see, I should say, is you'll probably see us continue, doubling down environments, doubling down on characters, um, you know, really expanding the depth and behaviors of a crowd, for example, all the way to, hopefully getting to more, cinematic content as well, just off the top of my head.
Next, I wanted to get to a little bit of the benefits of the next-gen consoles. So first of all, will the next-gen players be able to unlock a higher frame rate for the games on that specific console?
Yeah, so frame rates are the same, as you guys might recall. The big goal for us was, the big challenge, I should say, was getting on Frostbite. New engine, new console. It was important for us to have parity across, in terms of code base, parity across the previous gen as well as the next gen. So things like frame rate are the same. Obviously, you get higher, resolution on the new consoles, but in terms of quality and performance, I think the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S are the ones that would really stand out when you get hands on. And obviously, we have the known benefits of things like DualSense haptics and the PS5, fast loading times, stuff like that. But in terms of visuals, really that's the area where we invested our time based on the resources that we had in terms of the deferred lighting, sorry, dynamic lighting, I should say, the micro details, the facial animation. Those are the areas that are unique to Gen 5.
Right, thank you. Also, regarding the DualSense controller for the PS5, did you look at implementing any of the new stuff that you can do with the adaptive triggers and stuff like that for the next gen version of NHL 22?
Yeah, short answer is yes. Again, can't wait for you guys. That's something probably easier to feel, hands on, than to talk about. That's something. That's something you probably know, Ben, from a gameplay team. Has been a long time, a gameplay lead on our end. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but there is a gameplay content trailer coming in a couple of weeks, very shortly, which will include DualSense haptics. But short answer is yes. We've been able to look at the added immersion that brings in terms of skating, the adaptive trigger, taking hits, collisions, stuff like that. Again, won't go into too much, but some good stuff there.
That's cool, because I was a skeptic. I was a skeptic trying out the PS5 for the first time. I was like, well, it's another controller, but I gotta say, it really blew me away when I tried that. What is it, Astro Playroom for the first time? If you can bring anything that is even close to that, I think that's amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we don't disappoint.
Yeah. Then last but not least, will the game be compatible cross generations? So PS4 and PS5.
Yeah. So great question. I think before I get directly answering it, just to clarify, there is no cross-gen or cross-platform online matchmaking. However, with the two things with the X Factor Edition pre-order. Obviously, you get the dual entitlement where PS4 and PS5 and Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S is included in one bundle. You will be able to, so the consoles are backward compatible, is what I meant to say. So you can run your PS4 version on your PS5 and still match up with your friends that way. You don't need to, plug your old console back in. I think that's what you're getting at, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, regarding that, I'm not sure how much you can get into it, but you mentioned that aside from the visual side of things, the games kind of play the same. Can you give us a simple technical explanation on the challenges that led you to make to this decision that you can have cross-generation matchmaking?
Yeah, so I think there's two questions there, if I'm not mistaken. A is the technical reason why the technical product reason why we made the parity decision, and then second is why no
Right.
crossplay. Am I understanding you correctly?
I'm sure our viewers would like to hear the answers to those.
Yeah, I mean the first question around parity is mainly around just we know that our players in our community, and obviously given the pandemic situation, more of our players have the current gen console. We didn't want to leave anyone behind with the Frostbite transition, all the benefits we talked about that brings, and so we felt that was most beneficial to focus our efforts across the board to lift the tide for everyone. Where it comes to crossplay, that's just a matter of feature priorities and resourcing really. For us, it was about focusing on major differentiating gameplay, getting to new engine and presenting amazing visuals the best that we could, and focusing on some core wish list items. So unfortunately, we looked at crossplay for gameplay matchmaking, but wasn't to be this time around.
All right, thanks. I'm sure you knew this was coming, but I want to talk about spectator mode. It's it's something that the esports community especially has been waiting for quite a long time. And is there any update on spectator mode? And could you also tell us or the community what is it that makes it so much harder to implement than you might think?
Yeah, so a couple of things there. Obviously, we continue to want to make evolving and making an immersive feature set as much as possible. And we talked about the importance of the Worth the Child and the esports community, at large. And that's where we focused our remaining capacity this year. So spectator mode, technically, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, we don't know how to build it. It's more so around the, like similar to crossplay earlier. How do we prioritize our time, knowing that our community wish list is quite long, right? So we have to figure out how do we get to GM connected, right? Which we took a long, hard look at this year, before being being faced with the reality. Hey, we probably can't pull it off in a single year. We're taking a very proactive stance on how do we very similarly get to crossplay. So spectator mode isn't not on our radar. The reason I gave Eki the short answer is because we know Eki well and we know you guys well, so I figured you guys would be asking again. So apologies if that came across as terse, but that was a bit of a inside joke, since he asks me that every year. But yeah,
every year.
That's really the key reason is we have as you guys know, quite a lengthy wish list. Spectator mode is on there, but yeah, we just have to balance how we get to those things and in what time frame.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining me today. I know it's been a short session, much shorter than we're used to. I miss very much catching up and seeing you guys in person. So hopefully, fingers crossed, NHL 23 we'll get to do this in Helsinki, and it'll be like old times again.
And that's all we have for you today, gamers. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, EA Sports and Clement Kwong, for being a part of this. And hope you learned something new about NHL 22 coming out later this year. Be sure to like and subscribe the video if you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.